Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we will discuss what variable assignment is. So we just saw how to work with numbers, in fact, different kind of numbers. But what do these numbers represent? Like what can we do with them? It would be really nice to assign these different kind of data types of different kind of numbers to a variable name to easily reference them later on in our code and use them and perform some kind of operations on them. What do I mean by this? Like suppose I have two dogs. So I will just create a variable by the name of my dogs and assign that my dog variable the number 2. So whenever I reference my dog, it will represent that I have two dogs. So that way I can just display that somewhere, or I can perform some operations on them. So before going to the Jupyter notebook and getting started with variables, first we need to understand some basic rules regarding variables or creating variables. So the variable name cannot be started with a number. So this is first rule, that you can never start your variable name with a number. Like it's not a variable that gets started with a number. There can be no spaces in the variable names. Use instead underscore or start a variable with just underscore. So you cannot use any of the special characters shown on your screen. Well, you would think to yourself that how the heck am I gonna remember these special characters in order not to start my variable with them? So no need to worry about that, or no need to memorize these characters, because every Python development you use, it will notify you whenever you type some character in front of the variable name, or if you start a variable name with a character, it will prompt you not to use that character. So no need to worry about that, you are safe. So some more rules regarding variable name. It is considered to be a best practice according to PEP 8 that all of the variable names should be in lowercase. No offense to the global variable. When you grow up and become a little bit better programmer, or in fact a little mature programmer, you would learn the concept of global variable, which we declare in all caps. So we will discuss that concept later on, but right now just understand that it is considered a best practice according to PEP 8 that names of all of the local variables should be in lowercase. Also avoid using words that have special meaning in Python, like a list, int, str, and stuff like that. No need to worry. Later in this video you will learn what do I mean by this sentence, but just remember, no need to use any special characters and any special words that have specific meaning for Python. So you would again say that how would I know that I'm using a special name, or how would you memorize all of these? So no need to memorize anything, because the Python IDE or editor you will be using would highlight you that this is a special character or this is a special meaning word to Python. So let's just get over with this Python variables theory real quick, and then we'll understand what practical concept we can use. So we should also understand before getting started with the variables that Python uses dynamic typing. What do I mean by dynamic typing? This means you can reassign variables to the different data types. Suppose you have created one variable at the top in your program and you have assigned an integer value. Later on, if you're using that same variable and assigning it a different value, you can do that. That's completely okay in Python. So this makes Python very flexible in assigning data types. This is different than other languages that are statically typed. What do I mean by this? So suppose I have a variable by the name of my dog at the top of the program, and I'm using that variable again and again in my program, but somewhere in the middle of the program, the names of the dog to my dogs. I can instantly assign that name or list of names directly to my dogs. So as you can see on the screen, this is completely okay in Python. But if you're using some other languages, that languages would indeed create some error for you. For instance, if you are using C++, and so you would do something like this, that you will first write the type of the variable, like int my dog, and then assign a value like 1. And then later on in your code, if you're reassigning some other values, so if you are assigning the same type of value, it will work okay, but if you are assigning something other than integer, it will give you an error. So this is not okay in C++, because C++ is statically typed, or C++ is static typing language. So you would say that, okay, we know that Python is dynamically typed, but what are the pros and cons of it? So it's very easy to work with. The first pro is this, as well as your code is more readable, because you don't have to read first the type and then variable. You can just directly read the variable name and work with it instead. Also, it's very easy to work with, and it's quicker and faster. The cons of dynamic typing is that you may result in bugs for some unexpected data types. So you need to be aware of the type of the variable when assigning some values. So we will discuss this type function as well in our code, but let's just get started with the practical stuff so you can understand everything in a better manner. Okay, so I have launched the Jupyter notebook in order to test our spaceship that we have just created, or in other words, let's just explore the practical stuff that we have just discussed the theory of. So if I'm willing to create a variable, I can simply do that by writing a, and a variable is created. And if I'm willing to assign a value to it, I will write equal sign and then write the value in front of the equal sign, whatever I wanna assign it to. So I will press Ctrl Shift, and you can see that nothing happened. It's because we have just assigned 2 to a. We did nothing. We haven't echoed out anything to the screen. Now if I write a and then press Ctrl Shift, you can see that it will print out the value of a, which was stored in it previously by us, and that was 2. So when I printed a, it printed 2. Now if I'm willing to change the value of a, I will just simply reassign another value to it, like 3 for example, or suppose 10, and then press enter. And if I print a, and it printed out 10. So that is reassignment. So first we assign one value, then we reassign another value to a, and that is basically reassigning. So we can also perform certain operations with this a, the way we performed with the numbers in our previous video. So how can I do that? I can just write a plus and then a. If I press Ctrl Enter, you would see that it printed out 2, because the value of a was 10, and when we added another a with it, which was also 10, so 10 plus 10 is 20. Now Python also allows you to do reference addition assignment, or reference subtraction assignment. What do I mean by that? Suppose I have a, I want to assign it value of a plus some other number. So we can also do something like this in Python. If I do that and then print a, you would see that it will return 12, because the value of a was 10, we added 2 with it, and then we reassigned that the sum value to a. So now if I press Ctrl Enter, you will see that the value of a was 10, and then when we incremented the value of a by 2, so it became 12. So up till now things were pretty easy. We were just handling some pretty simple math. First we assigned some value, then we printed out that value, then we reassigned some value, then we printed out that again, then we performed a simple addition, and then we performed assignment addition at the same time, and then we printed out the a as well. Now if you remember, we did talk about the dynamic type the dynamic typing. So what do I mean by that practically? So suppose now let's and we also talked about the type function. So first let's check what kind of type is it, the A. So I will write type and then round brackets, and in the round brackets I will put the A. If I do that, you can see that it returned int because we have assigned an integer value to A. Now if I change the type of A, let's suppose I assign a float value to A and press shift enter and now write type A, shift enter, you would see that the type of A shifted towards the float. So we also see the type, how to use type and how to use the dynamic assignment. So the Python allows you to dynamically assign values to it, which is completely different in other languages. If you would have to do this in, suppose in C++, the C++ would have given you some error. So in the last we talked about not to use the reserve keyword or the words that are special to Python. So int is special to Python, and if you can see that as soon as I wrote down int, it just highlighted that to me in green color, while if I write something else like ASD, it doesn't highlight it in the green color. So that means that int has a special meaning for Python. That's why it's highlighting it in different color, same as this type and these other things like out and in. So these have special meaning for Python. That's why it's highlighting in different. So you don't have to memorize these int or str or any other reserved word of Python, because as soon as you write something and assign it some value, it will notify you that you are doing something wrong. So if you mistakenly assign something to this reserve keyword, you can also reset your you can always reset your kernel by coming over to this kernel and restart your kernel. What it will do, it will restart your kernel to everything to your default, and things would again work properly the way they were working when you just started. So this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you did understood what variable assignment is, how the dynamic typing works, and how other things work. So this wasn't creating a spaceship and launching it to the space, but so this is your initial point, and these are your first great steps that you have to take in programming. One thing I should make clear for you is that programming is a task for passionate people. You have to wait and learn everything step by step. Like you cannot learn everything in one day, and like you have to plan your study and do hard work and learn with practice. It's same the way you like to learn maths or physics. So you have to take each small step each time. Like I know you are crazy about learning programming and setting the world on fire with your programming skills. I know that. I have been through those stages, but I can assure you that if you take small step each time and you keep yourself consistent with learning every day, new things every day, things would be really simple for you. So this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you liked it, you learned something from this video. Have a pleasant day. Bye for now. I will see you in the next video. Till next time, stay cheeky breaky. Peace out.